Enough said. I like people. That means it's bad. Like if I was a man in a state of mania and I happen to also have ADHD. And the thing is, the thing that's messed up about Hollywood with all the remakes and the redos is what's up, guys? Welcome back to Moped Jet. Why is it called Moped Jet? Because I want a moped and I want a jet, and that's it. And I will not stop doing this until I get it. Today, we're going to talk about my life some more. Hope you're ready. Yay! Hope you're ready for that. Right now I'm doing this podcast kind of to procrastinate, if I'm being honest, if I'm being true to myself. It's because today is Friday. That's when I usually do these because I'm fortunate enough to work 4 days out of the week. So Friday is my off day. But it's not really my off day because that's usually my errand day. So I'm running around the city as my wife gets to just work from home in her pajamas. Look at that trade off, you know. Look at that. She doesn't work. She doesn't get Friday off, and she has to work, but she gets to work in her pajamas. Yeah, every day. And I have to wear slacks to my job, but at least I only get to work there 4 days out of the week, and I get 3 day weekends guaranteed. Sometimes four, sometimes four. So it's nothing to complain about. But I'm procrastinating one of my errands, because I don't really like to mow. I actually bought a landroid. If you don't know what that is, it's a mowing robot. Because now I'm in charge of mowing two lawns. I don't. I told God that I don't like to mow, and He said, "Okay, now here's two lawns." That's what He told me. So I have two lawns I have to take care of. But I decided, because while I was mowing one lawn, uh, the freaking wheel fell off. So I took that in my mind as a sign to buy a robot lawnmower to take care of three-quarters of one lawn. It doesn't even take care of all of it. And I had to get that other lawnmower fixed, and it finally got fixed. It took them 2 weeks to put a wheel on a lawnmower. I didn't know it took 2 weeks to wheel something up. I can usually put a wheel on my tire in way less than that much time. So it's very interesting that a lawnmower takes at least 2 weeks, but it did. And so I now have my lawnmower to now cut my primary lawn, the lawn of the house I live in, and have that robot cut in the lawn of the house that I do not live in, but I am in charge of the yard. Am I going to explain how that happened? No, that's private business. And how dare you even ask? How dare you even think that was an option to know? But I will tell you this: the mower that had the wheel popped off was supposed to be this well, I guess it wasn't that mower. Well, let me tell you the mower story. Okay, so I got this mower off Facebook Marketplace, but it was definitely not the first mower that I saw. There were a lot of options, but they weren't really options. There were a lot of dead ends. Yeah, I got a lot of people telling me like, "Oh, never mind. I put it on Marketplace, but I forgot I did." I don't know how you forget that you put something up for sale. Oh, sorry for the noise. Just dropped something. Clumsy. But I don't know how you put something for sale on Marketplace that you don't want to sell, because a lot of, especially just a lawnmower, a used lawnmower, a lot of them were like, "Oh no, I don't want to sell it anymore," or "Actually, I was gonna get a new lawnmower and I decided not to get a new lawnmower because this lawnmower is fine." I'm like, okay, cool. That still leaves me without a lawnmower because my original lawnmower broke because it was like from 1974, and we just found it in the garage. And it was good for a couple of mows, but after the third mow, it just decided not to work anymore. We put the gas in it, we did the cranks and the cranks and the cranks, and it just did not do anything. So I'm like, okay, this thing is dead. And instead of taking that in to get its engine fixed, which probably is what is needed, but I figured that would probably cost as much as just buying a used lawnmower with that, that's at least from 2001. So that's why I was on Facebook Marketplace. And there's one lawnmower guy that told me, "Oh yeah, come on over, come and buy the lawnmower. This lawnmower, I just upgraded it. I just put new blades on it. I put a new engine in it. I put a new uh, shell on it. This thing's gonna outlast your grandkids." That's literally what he told me on Facebook Marketplace. That's what he slid in my DMs with when I asked him how much. So I was sold. He's a salesman, clearly. So I go down there to his house. I get there and knock on the door, and I'm greeted by a little baby. Not a grown man, a little baby. Well, not baby, but like a toddler. He's just looking at me, and I say, "Hey, is your dad here?" And then, not a dad, but his mom comes around and says, "Oh, hey, why are you here?" I'm like, first of all, not trying to kidnap your baby. I just really want a lawnmower. And then she told me, "Oh, that lawnmower. My husband's trying to sell that lawnmower for months. It's not for sale." And then I just hear from the back of their house, "If you can fuck around with Bob in Nebraska, I can sell the lawnmower for beer money." And I thought, good point. But I asked, is the lawnmower still for sale? And then she told me no. So I just left. So it took me, I've been on a journey to get to this lawnmower. And I finally got to this lawnmower by some guy. He was a nice guy. He gave me the lawnmower. He showed me how it works, and he helped me load it into the truck when I was on my way. Didn't tell me that the lawnmower was going to have the wheel pop off. Never knew that. So I'm trying to now podcast. So I am being productive in my procrastination. It's not like I'm doing nothing. I'm doing something. I'm doing something. Anyway, what's up with AI? I feel like every comedian probably talks about AI now. But how did it get so good so fast? Right? Remember we were making fun of it and acting like, "Oh, it will never be good enough to really do anything. Just something that we can laugh at." Now it's pretty much good enough to make a movie. Hey, I am afraid is what AI should stand for. Hey, I'm afraid for my job. Hey, I don't like this. Hey, I want to go back to 2009. Hey, I want you guys to stop feeding it. Honestly, because that's how it got so good. That's how it got so good so quickly. People just ran to AI, honestly, instantly. People that were afraid of it, like people in the sectors that they're afraid, "Oh, AI is going to take my job." I think artists jumped on it the fastest. I think artists, writers, animators jumped on it the fastest. The only artists that can't jump on AI is mimes. Think about that one. It's gonna hit you after the podcast. That one's a deep cut. But yeah, that's my problem. That is my problem with AI. I don't really like. I don't really like it. Enough said. I like people. I like the human touch, and I know everyone says that when they talk about AI, but also, do we really like the human touch? Because we also complain about humans a lot. We complain about humans a lot. So, do we really? See how quickly my brain convinced me that AI isn't that bad? Am I just coping? I'm probably just coping. Probably just coping. One thing I know I'm not coping with, I think a lot of other people are coping with, is this new Tyler the Creator album. And this is coming from a day one fan. What the fuck is that album? What is he doing on there? I used to think when I was listening to it on my way to work in my car, so I was moving, I was following the rules, I was moving. I thought, wow, this will pick up soon, I think. And then by like track 4, I'm like, oh, so this is the album. He's just going to be terribly shower singing over some of the messiest, loudest instrumentals I've ever heard him make, over the most nonsense, meaningless lyrics I ever heard him spit. And people are eating this album up. I mean, I don't think everyone. I see some people that are like me that like this album is mid. But my thing is, I'm like, why did you try to stuff an album out while you're on tour for your successful album that you definitely took time to make? Because Call Me If You Get Lost, I felt like there was at least a year or a year and a half gap between Call Me If You Get Lost and Chromacopia. And he dropped the deluxe version of Call Me If You Get Lost, but that's not a new album. That's like throwing like 3 or 4, maybe 5 new songs on there. I didn't check out the deluxe. But yeah, man, this album's not good. And I see out of all the people in the world, Anthony Fantano giving this album an 8. I mean, like, I really stopped really taking his opinion seriously, especially when it comes to hip hop albums, because I don't know what's up with him, but his opinion on most hip hop albums are terrible these days, including this one. Even in his review, there's a point in his review where he says this music isn't as good as other music, but it's catchy. That means it's bad. You know? That doesn't mean it's good. That doesn't give it plus points. That's like if I went and got like a pizza and I was like, oh, the ingredients aren't as good, the bread is stale and it's kind of cold, but they gave me more marinara sauce. Who cares if they gave you the bare minimum? Songs are supposed to be at least catchy. And or at least, you know, attention retaining in one way or the other. I just spilled a whole bunch of stuff on me somehow. That's impressive because this drink is shallow. That's impressive. But yeah, man, I'm gonna pass on that one. I'm gonna pass on that one. You can enjoy "Don't Tap the Glass." I'm not gonna let you play that in my car though. You can't touch my aux. If you like "Don't Tap the Glass," you can't touch my aux. When I was listening to "Don't Tap the Glass," it kind of sounded like a ADHD with mania simulator. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was a man in a state of mania and I happen to also have ADHD and you put me in like a break room, one of those break rooms where people just go and smash stuff and waste resources. One of those things where we just go in and just tap into our primal urge to just smash computers and TVs and toilets. A lot of toilet smashing in those places. Yeah, don't tap the glass. If you like that, don't touch my aux. You ADHD manic ass. Do not get near me with that stuff. Stay over there with that. Speaking of music, something happened with Glorilla. Rapper Glorilla criticizes police after drugs arrest. Okay. Glorilla was arrested after police found marijuana while responding to a burglary at her home. Where does she live? I feel like marijuana is almost federally legal. Right? Where does she live? The break-in was while she performed at the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis. In Indiana, okay. Her lawyers said police ignored the home invasion to pursue a small marijuana discovery. Police said they are investigating the burglary, but had found a significant amount of drugs. So she lives in Indianapolis? Okay, she was... Oh, no, she does not live there. She was getting broken into while she was performing in Indianapolis. Okay. U.S. rapper Glorilla, blah, blah, blah. Police were called after 3 suspected intruders were seen trying to steal from her house in Atlanta. Georgia, you're not legal yet? Also, celebrities, why are you living anywhere that's not legalized? You clearly all at least smoke weed. I don't think there's not one celebrity. Well, maybe like Tyler and Kendrick, since they're open about not doing any drugs. But and maybe J. Cole, because he's probably smokes weed now. But I don't know many rappers that don't smoke weed. So why are you living somewhere where it's illegal to smoke weed at? She was away at the time, but was later arrested on 2 charges of marijuana possession and possession of a controlled substance. What's the controlled substance? Long story short, my house got home invaded, and I'm the only one that gets arrested. Yeah, that is wild, though. That is a valid statement because that's crazy that they care about the drugs they found. I feel like you should not be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I work for the state. I work for the state on my job, and we investigate areas. I'm not gonna get too into it because I don't know if this podcast is gonna cost me my job one day. So, we investigate areas, and we find things that are related to the incident that we are investigating. Sometimes we find things that are bad. You know, they're not supposed to be there. But if they're not related to the incident that we are investigating currently, we don't say anything about it. We would address it we make a comment about it, or we would address it in another way, or sometimes not even address it at all. If it's, we consider it not considered a part of this incident that we're investigating. So it's really weird if you get called to the site as a police officer to a burglarized home, and you know, okay, you find some illegal things in the home, but that's not what you're there to. That's not what you're there for. I feel like you would almost. I guess they probably did get a search warrant. I guess the whole place is a crime scene. If the burglary is, you know, if that's a thing, that I mean, the burglary probably turns the whole house into a crime scene. That's probably what's going on. But I'm just like, the owner of the house shouldn't be, you know, I guarantee if the owner of the house was at home and the burglary was happening or going to happen, and they called the police, they would be like, all right, let me hide my marijuana real quick before they get here, because it's illegal here. She was in Indianapolis, technically working. She was at her job. You know? That's garbage. 25-year-old Grammy-nominated star Gloria Hallelujah Woods, that's a very interesting middle name, is known for hits such as Yay Glow and What You Know About Me. Crazy, my house got home invaded Saturday, she wrote. While I was in Indianapolis performing for the WNBA All-Star Game, and instead of focusing on finding the suspects, they focused on some cannabis. Police said they found a significant amount of marijuana while investigating the burglary. The homeowner is a victim of a serious crime, and we are committed to bringing the suspects to justice, Forsyth County Sheriff Ron Freeman said. At the same time, we must continue to uphold and enforce the law in all aspects of this case. Woods' lawyer gave a differing account of the quantity of drugs found, claiming police believe they found a small amount of marijuana. The arrest of Gloria Woods is disturbing when Woods voluntarily turned herself in. I would have never done that. And was released on a $22,260 bond for some marijuana. While investigating, deputies detected a strong odor consistent with illegal narcotics. Is marijuana considered a narcotic in Georgia? Is that what they're trying to say? Because how do you smell narcotics? Like, what does heroin smell like? I've never heard someone be like you know, like, oh, it smells like dank in here, you know. Even smells like cigarette smoke. I never heard someone say, oh, it smells like cocaine in here. It smells like heroin in here. It smells like meth in here. What's it? So do they classify marijuana as a narcotic in Georgia? All rappers, run away. What are you doing? Third person dies after crush at U.S. Glorilla show. Oh my lord. Oh, that was 2023. We're not talking about that. Only modern events. Speaking of, we'll talk about a different death. Now this is sad. Now look, I don't intentionally go looking for these topics. I literally look up what's the most trending topic at the time I record this podcast on Google. This happens to be one. I am sorry if this is a trigger warning for you. Warning triggering is about to happen, man. 9-year-old dies at Hersheypark. If you're allergic to Hershey's, don't be triggered. Water Park in Pennsylvania. If you don't like the Statue of Liberty or the Liberty Bell. I suck at geography, man. It's so bad at geography and in monuments. That doesn't make you money anyway. It just lets you become a museum host. You just stand in front of statues and old paintings and stuff, and all day you just tell people summaries that they're not even listening to you about because they're just looking at the painting or the statue. A 9-year-old child has died after an incident at the boardwalk inside Hersheypark in Pennsylvania. Hersheypark's CEO has confirmed. Wow. The incident occurred on Thursday evening at the amusement park in Hershey, Pennsylvania, when a 9-year-old child was tragically lost at the boardwalk at Hershey Park. From the moment that our lifeguard team recognized that a child was in distress, they performed an immediate rescue, followed by continuous coordinated life-saving efforts by our lifeguards on site. The child was immediately taken to Milton Hospital, where, in spite of the life-saving efforts, the child was pronounced dead. Our hearts break for this child and the child's family. What happened? They're not going to say what happened? Law did not reveal specific details regarding the incident or the circumstances that led up to it, but according to the company's website, the boardwalk features 16 different water attractions, including the world's longest mat racing slides, Whitecap Racer, and it's home to 378,000-gallon wave pool called The Shore, which goes to a depth of 6 feet. Okay. The safety of our guests has always been our highest priority. I gotta try that wave pool. I love a wave pool, but that's not what this is about. As we grieve alongside our community, we ask for privacy for the family and for our team members who are desperately affected by this loss. We will provide updates as appropriate. Bro, what happened? What happened? It's for every family that visits Hersheypark. No, bro. No. Hersheypark might be on some. Hersheypark, are you on some Five Nights at Freddy's shit? Are you on some child mafia shit? Are you drowning kids? Because why won't they tell us what happened? If this was a regular drowning, an unfortunate accident, I'm not trying to make light of what happened here, but I'm just speaking kind of cold hard facts. If this was a simple drowning, don't you think that's what they would say? If this was an accident from their slides, don't you think that's what they would say? Like, why are they being so cryptic about it? They won't give up information. Even the hospital's working with them. The Hershey hospital, they took him to the Hershey Medical Center. You can't take someone from the Hersheypark to the Hershey Medical Center. That's an inside Hershey job. Justice for this 9-year-old, bro. This 9-year-old was killed by the Hersheypark Mafia. Absolutely destroyed by the Hersheypark Mafia. Alright, moving on, dude. Happy Gilmore 2. Why? Okay. Who is asking for a Happy Gilmore 2? Who was begging for that? Who was asking for that? Happy Gilmore 2 review. Adam Sandler's Netflix sequel is terrible. Oh, is it? Is it? And fans will love it. The golfer with anger management issues returns in this belated, cameo-laden follow-up to the cult comedy. You might be tempted to rewatch Adam Sandler's hit 1996 comedy. I mean, why would anyone want to watch? Why does this exist? I mean, I love Adam Sandler. Don't get me wrong. I love Adam Sandler. But Happy Gilmore is like, I don't even know where it would rank. Like, is it even on the radar? I know some people that really do like Happy Gilmore. And obviously it was, I think it was a pretty big hit. I don't know. Isn't that what he names his whole production company after? But it's like, it's just Angry Man Golfs. How can that be funny again? That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's like, remember when they made the Three Stooges remake? Now, people of the Three Stooges probably like that movie. No one gave a shit about Three Stooges because that kind of comedy is done. No one cares about a guy that has anger issues and playing in a sport where you have to be gentlemanlike and he's all schlubby. Like, that's so 90s, maybe a little bit early 2000s culture. Like, I mean, humor. It's just like, oh, the ugly duckling humor. That's all it is. It's the ugly duckling joke. Like, he dresses like that, but he's good at golf? That's crazy. How, who cares about it in 2025? You know what I'm saying? This is funnier. This is other things we can look at. I don't even know if there's funnier things because comedy kind of sucks a lot, at least in media. They always try to do the stupid awkward stuff, like awkward comedy, and where they just stare at each other and like dart eyes, and they'll be like, "What? Like, I didn't say anything. Like, I thought you did. No, I just coughed." So let's read this review. I kind of went on a tangent there. There are so many clips from its predecessor that even those who never saw the original film will have no trouble catching up. Add to the many original performers repeating their roles. I hate when movies do that anyway, but the constant callbacks and the nonstop nostalgia, and the result is less a continuation than an exercise in fan service. If you're watching Happy Gilmore 2 at home, don't be surprised if some of the cast members show up at your door offering autographed pictures for a fee. What are you talking about? That's actually pretty cold. So if I play it right now, people will just show up. Adam Sandler will show up. Yes, it's been 29 years since the first film, but damn, that's crazy. But considering its constant presence on cable and streaming, it's surprising that repeating screenwriters Sandler and Tim Herlihy felt the need to provide so many reminders. But then again, Sandler has always proved adept at giving his audience what they want. Like the first film, the sequel proves moronic, witless, and relentless vulgar. Who wrote this? A Mormon? As the story begins, Happy is all washed up, lost in an alcoholic haze after accidentally killing his beloved wife with an errant golf ball. Okay. So he's... Man, I'm not reading this whole thing. This is like the whole movie. Don't watch this. Do not give streaming services in Hollywood a precedent. Do not set a precedent. I don't want them to be dusting off the... If we watch this, we're going to get Cheaper by the Dozen again. We're going to get freaking... What else is there? We're going to get Are We There Yet again? Are we there yet? Dude, if we keep this up, we're going to get Baby Geniuses again. Let's just stop it. Let's just stop it. And the thing that's messed up about Hollywood with all the remakes and the redos is that there are hungry ass artists all over Hollywood. I know it. With original ideas. There's some comedians that are painstakingly working on pilots and scripts and screenplays that are original. Take a punt on those, man, because you did it for Adam Sandler and you got a Happy Gilmore. So instead of just relying on Happy Gilmore 2 29 years later, give a shot on the next Adam Sandler and let him make the next Happy Gilmore. Wow! Who would have thought? Because out of all those people in Hollywood, there has to be at least 1 or 4 that are talented enough to do that. Just find that person and give them the money, because Adam Sandler, in this one shot that they're providing with this article, he looks tired, man. A lot of actors that they won't let retire look tired. And I know that they bring them out of the house by giving them like $20 million to do it. But you could have saved all of that money by giving it to the hungry ass artist that would widen his eyes at a $20,000 offer to make a movie. You know? Give him a salary of $20,000 to make a movie for a year and give him a budget of $2 million. Hey, that's $2 million, $20,000. You saved $18 million, and Adam Sandler gets to sit at home. And you might find the next Adam Sandler. I'll never understand it. But that's MopedJet. That's MopedJet. This is another 30 minutes. 30 minutes might be the standard. I got a lot to talk about. I got a nice little format going too, where I talk about my brain, talk about stuff in my brain for a little bit, get that off my brain chest, and then I talk about trending topics for a little bit, get that off my trending topic brain chest. So, got a little thing going. If you like it, prove it with a like button. We got to get the likes. Likes get this thing moving. Likes get this thing going. Make sure you check out my shorts and my clips. Get those likes going. That gets it moving. That gets this thing going. Yeah, and eat your vegetables. Kiss your mom. And go to sleep at a good hour.